Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back to our KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 0.43% to 47,133. Ethereum down 0.02% to 39.62. I focus on helping you leverage the professional smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Many people throughout the world are going through a life pullback. It's always important to understand the sun will come out again. There's always hope. Our love and healing thoughts are with you wherever you are, and just know in this season you're not alone. Rule 774, master yourself to master the market. As a community, we focus on real wealth and maintaining a positive excellence life trend. Money is of course incredibly important. It represents security, but what represents meaning are things like inner and outer peace, integrity, decency, kindness, courage and honor, fearlessness, fulfillment, meaning, empathy and love, and generosity. Without those components, life can be pretty empty. If we buy into what we see in the media and press, we could easily feel that we're not worthy of kindness, love, meaning, and success in life. We simply are not tall enough, not short enough, not coming from the right background. All of these things are absolute rubbish. You are worthy and unique. That uniqueness makes you automatically deserving of kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life. Of course, no matter what's happened in the past, we focus on a positive life trend, using kindness and caring and integrity as the foundation. Rule 138, all investors become traders every time they buy or sell. New investors and new traders are typically called to the market through incredible percentage returns like what we see here. We can see the S&P 500, the proxy for stocks, up 26%, poor old gold down 4%, but that is a good thing because it's showing economic stability. Not a lot of war is being recorded on the balance sheet of gold at the moment. That's kind of what gold does. It loves disasters. Bitcoin is up 100% for the past 12 months. And if we look at some of these returns, they're absolutely staggering for crypto. That is what calls new people into the crypto market, these really large returns. Many investors see price going up and just get locked in at high prices before it retraces. Having a trading mindset is really, really important. Traders cannot afford to get it wrong. They must time things correctly or they get severely punished. The issue is that in the crypto market, the volatility is incredibly outsized. It's unlike anything in the stock market or foreign exchange markets. And when people seek to apply those understandings, stock market and forex trading, understandings into crypto, it's really, really difficult. I put the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass together at the request of the community. It's all about transferring my 30 plus years of experience in financial markets to save you years of learning and heartache. Your success is my focus, and my goal is that I want to enable you to do what I do by transferring my knowledge to you so that you can be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. Many people are already going through the masterclass and have found that they've looked at charts for years and in a matter of days they've learned more than all the time previous. If you would like to book in your very substantial masterclass discount, which is closing at the end of this month, please reach out and email kstandf@gmail.com and I'll happily lock that in for you. RC has been in financial markets many, many years. He says the masterclass is totally on another level. I can't think of one guru influencer who will not benefit. Unfortunately, most think they know too much already. The more I learn from your masterclass, Ken, the more I learn how little I actually know, despite being a studious sponge on the crypto universe for 9 months. I'd also like to thank the very kind community members who've reached out and just shared their experiences of the masterclass. Kevin said, Ken, the masterclass is great. Even in the first 5 videos I have done, I've changed all my preconceptions of how a chart should be organized. As a former lecturer in first and second year statistics, I organize all the topics in the masterclass very, very specifically. I've weaved exponential learning techniques in, so if you do each video, each lesson, just one at a time, I'm revealing secrets and tips that I've never revealed in public. Also, I've completely upgraded the area of crypto technical analysis. If you would like to know my rationale behind putting the masterclass together, please have a look at episode 365 that came out on December the 11th. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. This is such an important rule. Bitcoin is currently trading at 46,887. We can see Bitcoin is just hugging this downward support line. It's having a little bit of trouble getting through it at the moment. We can see it's primarily being supported by this downward line at a price of around $46,000. Price is starting to turn around, but it's a little bit slow. Price is almost reaching the I don't know where I'm going zone, but it's a little bit red until it gets above this support. We have a key support at 45,881. Price is just above that at the moment. What we really need to see for prices to turn positive is getting up around this $52,000 mark and then getting across this 55,600 level. Then we will encounter a level of resistance at around the 61,897 mark. Let's look quickly through the Mt. Gox and Omicron and different scenarios hitting the market at the moment. Just before we look at this, it's really important to make in advance probabilistic choices. What will you do if Bitcoin and your beloved alts start to rally up exponentially? What will you do if they melt down? What will you do if they go sideways? What typically happens, retail investing and trading only picks one of these, and they get shocked and surprised all the time when price just does what price does and go in the opposite direction. As a professional, you want to always have these 3 things in mind. That is what professional investors and professional traders do. It's also important to realize that the path of the top in any bull run is really, really turbulent. In crypto, we can see 40-50% reductions in price. 20% are common. This is really hard to deal with if you come from a stock market or forex market background where things don't move around that violently. I guess that's the only way to say it. Professional traders and professional investors have a lot of rules that they live by. Rule 130, make volatility your best friend. Say to your best friend, oh, I'm so sorry, volatility is now my best friend. Just kidding. That particular rule is so powerful because as you see, price fluctuates dramatically in the crypto market. We have specific methodologies that we apply to grab this volatility and use it for our advantage. We're not caught off guard by volatility. We're actually looking forward to it. We can see that the Mt. Gox reserves have not moved and have not moved for a long time. Omicron is definitely spreading throughout the world. We have a lot of high incidence cases in the UK and Denmark and Norway. Of course, all our feelings and heart and healing thoughts go out to everyone that's suffering at the moment. Worldwide, 62,254 cases. Globally, there's nearly been 275 million cases and 5.37 million deaths from COVID. We're hoping that Omicron may be a more less dangerous variant, we can see that even though the cases are rising, the deaths are not rising as much as they have in previous waves. Let's hope. When looking at the virus from a market's perspective, what we're interested in is the capability of it to lock down particular areas. We can see back in January 21 of 2020, there were no lockdowns. This is from the Oxford Stringency Index. We can see as time went forward, there were lockdowns. And as the virus spread throughout the world, more countries were locking down. And we can see the world basically did lock down at a certain stage, and then it started to open back up again. We can see the world's been under periodic lockdown all of this time. And just going through here, things were looking better, looked like we were getting out of it, and then unfortunately Omicron reared its head. But you can see these lockdowns have been very, very prevalent right across the past couple of years, or I should say past year. Actually, COVID was discovered in November of 2019. Omicron and lockdowns will definitely impact the airline indexes, and we can see that they've been under pressure for a very long time. As we've seen in the stringency index, it makes sense. Land transportation is a little bit different. Still, things need to be moved around. People need to eat. So the transportation services have been going through a bit of a tumultuous time just recently, this big dip, but they've seemed to recover. They're under a little bit of a resistance at the moment. We can also see that the 5-year and 10-year break-even inflation rates are on their way down. If stringency increases and countries go back into lockdown, that will actually push attention into the crypto industry. People have to make a return, and they can't get any returns from the banking industry, and the stock market just moves too slowly. Indirectly, crypto and the crypto industry could be a beneficiary of increased stringency or increased lockdowns. But what we're always interested in as professional traders and professional investors is just trade the chart that we view. We can see that we're under resistance. This support line has been held very well, but we need to get a breakout from there. In the past, we've seen that these kind of big downward movements generally come with a follow-up downward movement as well. It is more than possible that we could go down to around 37,000. If that is the case, we would expect it to bottom out there, and that could call in a lot of shorts into the market. A critical rule to understand is Rule 112, markets profit in uncertainty. This means that at times like this is the ideal time to position yourself. If you are a long-term investor, you want to buy on the reddest of all possible days. That is the last time that most investors want to get in. They want to feel certain that things are going to improve, the price is going to turn around. But as a professional investor and professional trader, you want to pick up when the fear is really, really high inside the market. That is a way that you can make volatility your best friend. We can gauge what's happening in the Indian market and the Indian government's progress towards their central bank digital currency and crypto regulation by just looking at the Bitcoin index in the local currency of India. We can see it's just obeying the normal currency movements of Bitcoin. How do we tell that? We just actually come across the Bitcoin. If anything, India's Bitcoin in relationship to the rupee is doing better than Bitcoin in relationship to the US dollar. The real issue is Evergrande, and more so, Evergrande's not really the issue, it's the Chinese property market and the debt cycling around the Chinese property market. It's over $1 trillion. People don't talk about this 1 trillion, but if you do the numbers, you dig into the charts, what you can actually see is all of these property developers, they're getting under pressure, horrible pressure at the moment. Evergrande's stock price is in blue. You can see it's literally fallen off a cliff. When stock prices fall down, when any price falls down, it is basically a saying, I'm not confident that this thing can make it, and people are taking their money out. 2 months ago, the Chinese government, the Chinese Communist Party, cracked down on crypto and made it illegal. On-ramps, off-ramps, everything. Just to work in crypto in mainland China was an offense, punishable by imprisonment. We've seen a lot of media floating around at the moment saying that there's been a lot of sell-off from the Chinese market. I believe this is potentially the government trying to create funds to bail out the property sector. I'd like to thank the various members of the community who reached out and shared this chart. Asia's month-on-month change in Bitcoin price. There was a lot of selling in the Chinese market and the Asian markets. I believe that's just really nothing more than acquiring a war chest to do a bailout of the Chinese property market. A lot of people have suggested that it's because different exchanges are moving out of China. I don't think so. When it comes down to those particular exchanges, they knew well in advance what was happening. They knew well. 2 months ago, they knew. Of course, that doesn't rule it out. It's just a lower case probability. Another thing to bear in mind, these exchanges are not closing down. They're just shifting. There's a very important relationship that plays out between crypto stocks and bonds. Bonds are effectively loan obligations, and repayments come at specified periods of time. Stock market is all about chasing a return. When people get freaked out in the stock market and crypto, money transfers into bonds because it's a safe haven. Let's just have a look at how the stock market is reacting. We can see the fear gauge, the VIX. The fear gauge of the market has just elevated slightly. But what's happening to the Nasdaq 100, the technology index, coming back to support? We can see oil has been rejected from its resistance line and is being pushed down. We can see bond prices are starting to come up. This signifies a degree of risk within the economy that's being played out. But we have a couple of things that we need to pay attention to. This very, very tight line of support, and once resistance has been crossed, we have another line of resistance here that bond prices are coming into. The key one to watch is up here at the 165.07 mark. We need to see what happens there. If bond prices do in fact take off, just go up the wall, we need to pay attention to that, and we need to have our strategies. When we see bond yields are coming back into support, and they have done a technical bounce right there. We need to see if bond yields actually recover. If they don't recover, if they slice through this support, then we'll pay attention. But we don't panic. We just trade the chart in front of us. We just become aware that there's something that we need to pay attention to. Professional investors and traders simply scale in and scale out of positions. They never do a light switch, go all in or all out. I developed KS Zone analysis to help explain the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zone 1 and Zones 2 are all about the addiction to certainty, getting the right indicators, getting the right numbers. No such thing exists. We only have probability. When people move out of Zones 1 and 2 into 3, they have probabilistic fearlessness. They have a lot of rules and a lot of patience, and they understand that things must be scaled in and scaled out of. Unfortunately, no one talks about these zones, so a lot of new investors and traders are told to go all in and go all out of positions. That just can wreck their financial health. Doing a scaling in and a scaling out is what Zones 3 and Zone 4 are all about. Zone 1 and Zone 2 are about the light switch effect, which means people basically go all in and on positive news and go all out on negative news. You want to get away from this kind of behavior if you're seeing that you're engaging in it at the moment. You want to look at probabilistic fearlessness, which is all about scaling in terms of layers and scaling out in terms of layers. Negative percentage movements can often be incredible opportunities. When there's geopolitical conflict, war, tension on a macroeconomic level, gold does really well. We can see gold is starting to move up. It's not skyrocketing, but it's starting to move up. We need to pay attention to the bond prices and the gold price as well. We can also see the US dollar currency index has rallied off its support line. I talk about these issues because I want to desensitize you to them. When we talk about Mt. Gox and Omicron and inflation and tapering and transportation and Evergrande and all sorts of things, India's crypto ban, potential central bank digital currency, it's good to immunize yourself against any light switch kind of behavior. Let's just look at the chart. What does the chart say? It says that it's Bitcoin's price, and Bitcoin rules the crypto market, is coming back to a level of support at around 45,881. It can't quite figure out what it's doing right now. The probability is that it could break above this resistance and shoot up, but there is a lot of negative news, so you must have your different options planned out in front of you at all times. You must know what you will do if it goes down. Will you buy? Will you add? Will you sell? What if it goes sideways? What will you do? And if it goes up, what will you do? Please cover those three issues off. Every single professional does that. That's the focus. Let's have a look at some of the top cryptos. We can see Bitcoin still under resistance. Well, how about Ethereum? Coming into support, just consolidating around support. Good sign. What about Binance Coin? Binance Coin has been incredibly strong. It's still under resistance, but it's showing enormous strength. Sol almost starting to turn around here. Good sign. Cardano, ADA starting to consolidate. We can see XRP starting to consolidate and potentially move back to convert this resistance line into support. We just need to see what happens with Bitcoin's price. But these alts do tell a story, a good story. What about DOT? DOT starting the very early stages of turning around. What about Luna? Wow, go Luna. It's just done a V-shaped recovery, literally. Let's have a look at Doge. After Elon's tweet, we saw a really beautiful rally, but now it's been squashed down under resistance. Come on, Elon, come back. Save Doge. We can see AVAX has rallied really strongly through that once resistance line. It's looking good. SHIB could be the potential early stages of a turnaround. Keep your eye on it. Could be interesting. Matic bounced really well from support and is doing very nicely technically. Litecoin still under resistance, but almost at the point of turning around. We can see Uni under quite a heavy bit of resistance, as is Chainlink, as is Algo. Always remember Rule 4, price moves in waves. This is really important. When people are first into any market, any financial market, they believe price just moves up or it collapses. It's not the case. Price is always going up and down, up and down. It's just the nature of price. The thing to also understand is the traders are always taking profit. They're timing their moves. Looking further forward, we can see Bitcoin Cash still under resistance. Tron, TRX still under resistance. It looks like Mana Decentraland is putting in a bottom and starting to turn around. That could be quite interesting. Axie Infinity is holding its support line quite well. Stellar is under resistance, as is VET. Cosmos under resistance. FTX or FTT is under resistance but looks to be consolidating, looks to be in the early stages of a turnaround. EGLD is still under resistance, but it's got some latent strength in there. We can see ICP well and truly under resistance, as is Filecoin. SAND is starting to consolidate, potential turnaround. We can see the metaverse plays looking really interesting. HBAR is staging a bounce from its lowest point here. Very nice. Theta token still under resistance. Ethereum Classic under resistance. NEAR is bouncing around a bit, but actually looking quite good. It's made a higher low, and that's always a positive thing. Professional traders and investors don't care what other people say because they know Rule 444, ignore tips, advice, and especially marketing. When people draw you into a particular thing, they do it all the time in the stock market, stock tips. Some friend has a friend who's invested in something, and it happens in crypto all the time. Just ignore it. It's really important to make your own analysis and learn how to do that. Looking at the community picks, we can see veracity following Bitcoin's fingerprint. Bitcoin's fingerprint is in the blue. That's what the blue line is on all of these charts. We always need to see what Bitcoin is doing, and if the crypto is phasing in or out of Bitcoin's gravity. When Bitcoin turns around, VRA could do incredibly well, as could Icon, and we can see that following there. Also, Kusama is following Bitcoin's fingerprint very, very well, as is IOTA. We can see stacks starting to show strength. This is a really good sign. Keep our eye on stacks. RLC is following Bitcoin's fingerprint as well. When Bitcoin turns around, you are going to see a massive movement in the alts. Does that mean we FOMO in? Absolutely not. Just keep your focus on your beloved alts and lowering your average buy price. We can see TRB is still under resistance. Cartesi is following Bitcoin's fingerprint to the ping recently. I'd like to thank the very kind and generous community members who've reached out and shown their appreciation by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/CryptoTradingKS. Thanks so much, everyone. I'd like to thank Vicente. Thank you very much, Al. Vicente, thanks again, my friend. JB and Owen. Thanks so much, everyone. To show my appreciation for all the kind generosity of the Buy Me a Coffee Club, I put together special posts each month. They're just videos that help to give you some kind of edge. Thanks so much, everyone. Throughout life, it's easy to get into situations where you feel you won't get out of them, where the sea is so choppy that you could literally be swept to your death. It's important to understand that these things generally pass in life, and the sun will always come out again. The storms will settle, the sea will go back to being more placid. That's why this little quote is so powerful. Remember, the sun always comes out again. The secret word today is hope. If you would like to talk about hope and how incredibly important it is, please reach out in the comments. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from and if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.